Hey guys, Everseen here. So I've been playing Rise of the Abyss League. I've been playing in HCSSF with this Deadeye character. Basically, it's Lightning Arrow, Lightning Rod, but I decided to try out the new Cold Shots notable on the Deadeye. Pretty good, and I'm gonna like go over roughly kind of like the strengths and weaknesses of the build, what's been going on. So yeah, I'm level 96 HCSSF. I'm like a quarter of the way through 96. I think I'm gonna make a different build now. I'm kind of like done with this guy, but he is like an extremely good farmer. I've been able to farm a ton of gear, you know, crafting bases, stuff for recoms. I've got tons of stuff for reforges, I-82 bases, tons of tablets. So yeah, like I can do 6 mod maps on this guy. The only thing that I'm not running is like stun buildup. Everything else is pretty manageable. I have 75 of all resistances, 75 chaos res. And yeah, so I just want to go over sort of like the defenses and basically why I think that Deadeye is really strong right now. So the first thing that you'll notice is Tailwind. So Tailwind is really good for Deadeye. It's basically the whole reason why you play it. So if we have 10 stacks of it, we have tons more movement speed, we have tons more skill speed, and evasion rating. So with Tailwind up and with Wind Dancer up, we have a 68% evasion. And then on top of that, we have a 67% deflection with 44% damage reduction. So this is really good. And then I also have 3000 energy shield with 1800 health, which gives me a pretty good buffer of health on top of having something like Ghost Dance, which is going to give me, you know, energy shield equal to 7% of my evasion per Ghost Route. So, you know, I have 20,000 evasion. 7%, that's, I don't know what it is, but it's probably over like 800 evasion just for one Ghost Route. So, energy shield, sorry, 800 energy shield recovery. So, feels really good. I actually, like, don't really have any close calls. The biggest weakness of the build is damage over time, like things like Ignite, Bleed. Bleed is especially bad because energy shield, it goes through it. So if you get a bad bleed and you only have 1800 health like me, that's quite squishy. So that's kind of a bad part of the build. But overall, it's been good. I've been able to pretty much like one-shot all the bosses with, you know, the lightning rod tech and stuff. But yeah, so the thing about evasion is it's actually better this league. Getting a 62% evasion, just it's my tailwind stacks aren't up, so it won't reflect totally. But yeah, 61% acrobatics is really strong. So acrobatics, if anyone doesn't know, was a keystone before that if you took it, you would be able to evade all hits. So before you weren't able to evade any of like the elemental novas on the ground, a bunch of different like spells and stuff you couldn't really evade. So they basically said, screw acrobatics, we'll push it all the way into evasion, and then we'll give you deflection on top of it, which basically means we got net buffed in this patch. The only thing that sucks is evasion is quite weak in the early game. Getting, you know, probably 30-40% evasion instead of like 60-70% before this patch feels really rough in the early game. So yeah, I opted for my build to take a lot of deflection in the beginning. So I took like, you know, well, I shouldn't say in the beginning, basically like around Act 4 is when you really start to pick up these deflection nodes, but they've been working really well for me. And yeah, like I only have one mod on my chest piece for deflection, which I would love to have it on my gloves and my boots, but I just haven't gotten to that point. So yeah, having that deflection rating is really, really helpful. It's basically with full stacks of Tailwind, I think I have like 67 is what I said. So yeah, 67% chance to deflect with 44% damage reduction is really, really strong. And yeah, so defensive wise, this is really good build. I think that it's probably, you know, one of the tankiest league starters I've actually played, like in the end game. But yeah, it's lacking a little bit on my damage. So we can talk now about kind of the tech that I've been using and basically what I've been swapping between. So when I'm mapping, I'm actually using multi-shot on Lightning Rod and then charge shots on Lightning Arrow. So Lightning Arrow actually did end up getting Rakiata's Flow too from a Jade Isles, but yeah, I'm using Elemental Armament, Lightning Attunement, Rapid Attacks, charge shots, and then Rakiata's Flow. And then I'm also using multi-shot on Lightning Rod with Lightning Attunement, Elemental Armament, Deliberation, and then charge shots. So charge shots is really good. You're getting 60% of damage as extra lightning damage, which is a huge buff to both of these skills. So that's why we're using it. And yeah, it's very strong. I've been able to clear maps no problem, even like juiced T15s with like 35% delirious effect from like rare monsters and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been really good. And then for bossing, I actually put in stoicism. So stoicism is cool. It basically counts up over time and gives you more damage for your skill, but as soon as you dodge roll, it resets. So basically you use this to walk up to a boss, preload a bunch of damage like this, and I'm using chain on lightning arrow, and I'll demonstrate that in a second. But basically I'll show the differences. So here's pretty much the damage rotation as I'm doing a bunch of lightning rods. I shoot tornado shot on it, I barrage, and then I shoot into the tornadoes, and then it fires all the rods like that. So the reason why we're doing this is because tornado, for each tornado that you shoot into, it will split into 3 projectiles. So why would we want to get more projectiles? It's to fire these lightning rods. And also another thing about lightning rods is that without tornado shot, you can't really, I can't hit and activate these. Like I'm just shooting my arrows through it. But if I throw tornado shot on it, I'm actually activating them. So this is how you can sort of place your damage a bit better and not have to have an enemy walk over your rods in order to do the damage to them. So a thing about tornado that's really nice as well is that we can pierce through one tornado into the other. So this is why we have pierce the heart, because we can get one pierce, which means 2 tornadoes, I shoot through one and it hits the other one as well. So that's why you're getting a ton of activation frequency. And now you can probably just keep charge shots in if you want, as long as you have like a high enough attack speed, because chain 3 gives you a lot more firing, but it does kind of hurt your overall damage. It's 40% less damage, so it kind of sucks. But here, I'll just demonstrate like doing the rotation here, and then I'll swap to the other one. So this is one shot. Okay, now let's take out chain or charge shots and put in chain. So now I'll do it right here. So this is one shot with barrage. You can see quite a big difference in the amount of chains that happen. So yeah, I've been using chain. I think it's really good. This is basically my setup for bossing. But later on, when I get some more attack speed, I'd probably go for the charge shots over the chain, just because you can shoot fast enough into it where it doesn't really matter about getting the more activations, right? So the biggest thing about Deadeye, though, this patch has been I haven't been using the additional projectile. It is really good. I think it's probably optimal to use the additional projectile, but I'm using cold shots. I really, really like this this skill. I kind of wish that it was actually better, because it has a built-in cooldown of, I mean, every 5 seconds you can apply a mark, but it also only, like, basically what it does is it's like a blasphemy. It like marks a target, and then as soon as you kill that marked target, it will overlap into another target, like transfer the mark, and you can only do it once every half second. So you can't, like, say, kill a pack of like 30 monsters and it just keep chaining the mark to all of the different enemies, which is what I was hoping for, because that would have been really, really busted and cool. But yeah, obviously that would have been quite strong. But regardless, using called shots, this is very, very good early game. For your clear, I would definitely take this. Like, I took this basically getting into maps. I took obviously this stuff first, and then once I got my 3rd ascendancy, I went for called shots, and then I'm using Voltaic Mark. The thing about Voltaic Mark too, this patch, as well as your heralds, as well as all of my attack skills, is that if you get a bow with +4 to level of all attack skills, which I currently have, and you get that through this perfect battle essence, +4 to level of all attack skills, it is really, really strong. So my Voltaic Mark is doing a lot of damage. It's a level 23. I don't even have level 20 gems yet. Yeah, the next thing, yeah, like, basically I would drop this later for the additional projectile once you're kind of like at the very, very end stages of your gear and you're like playing crit and stuff like that. But for now, like, Voltaic Mark with magnified area, lightning attunement, shock, and then shock conduction. So basically we're just trying to shock as much as possible with this Voltaic Mark. And then this also gives me 52% shock on bosses when they're Voltaic marked. So that's a really good value for shock. And we're trying to shock as much as we can to proc Herald of Thunder. So Herald of Thunder has a cool little interaction this league. basically there's two things. One thing I want to talk about is overreach. So use overreach instead of any magnified area gems, because you're going to get overall like 5% more area of effect, 5% increased area of effect, because overreach states that you lose accuracy, but Herald of Thunder says it can't be evaded. So if it can't be evaded, then your accuracy doesn't really matter. So you always put overreach in your heralds, and then you use the elemental skills or support gems to buff its lightning damage, and then long shot gives you more damage. And then the final thing is living lightning. So living lightning is really cool. I can go into a zone and demonstrate it real quick, but basically what it does is it sends all these little like minions that can fire your lightning rods. So the idea is once you start hitting stuff with Herald of Thunder, you're going to have constantly these minions running around the map firing the lightning rods for you, and you don't even need to do anything. So you have to build it up though. Like right now I got like 4 minions, so now I'll just go through here and I'll just use lightning rod. Now obviously this is a low level zone, so I'm just going to one-shot everything, but you can see that the living lightning is proccing the rods instantly. So that's another really good, you know, thing for your overall clear when you're playing this build. I can't really stress enough. And it's, you know, the cost of one maybe damage support gem, but it's giving you a lot of quality of life, especially in a ritual, an expedition, anything like that. So living lightning, really good gem to be using. But yeah, that's about it for the build. Like, it's pretty simple. It's basically just, you know, the 2 lightning skills. You're going to use barrage with increased cooldown recovery rate, more cast speed so that it goes faster, and yeah, charge shot for clear because it ups your damage. Basically, watch when I take out chain. Chain makes it 17,000. When I put charge shots in, it's now 28,000. So you lose a significant amount of damage with chain, but it's basically just to get as many activations as possible, because when you are using chain, I swear you can get 160 hits in like 2 seconds. Like, basically, if I just load up a bunch of lightning rods like this, throw a tornado, and then shoot through it, I didn't get it quite there, but as you can see, the rods are gone. I can't proc any more rods. So, lightning rod, you know, chained up to 8 times, maximum 20 arrows. That means we get 160 hits in, like, you know, a couple seconds. So, really, really big, especially if you're taking this down here, which gives you lucky damage for lightning damage. You can also take this, the spring hair, for even more lucky chance, but I think 30% is sufficient enough. And once I go crit, it would be probably dropping all of this stuff here and then pushing up into all the crit nodes up here. But I need a bow for that, and I don't really want to go for another bow, and I don't want to go for another quiver. But yeah, I'll have a POB in the description of like all of my gear, and basically like a leveling guide on mobilytics that I put together and is still quite relevant for 0.3. Yeah, so this bow is basically my semi-endgame bow, what you can sort of realistically expect in like an SSF environment. I got very lucky and got this. I actually missed the fracture on the flaring, and then I just exalted this Fizz percent on. So not very ethical to get this bow, but then the suffixes are free to get. You basically just spam the essences until you get both of these, and then you have a really good bow. So that's pretty much it, I think, for what I want to talk about with the build. I think that it does all content fairly well. Even Delirium, like Simulacrums, I found that it's really not that bad. I've only done the first difficulty so far, though. I think that I would need more damage to actually tackle and beat the other ones, but yeah. You know, running every single mod, or every single map, 6 mod, not having any trouble at all, really. Just, you know, just scaling and scaling and scaling. This build is pretty much infinitely scalable with going like crit and stuff, but for now I don't have like any like crazy breach rings. You know, having a triple flat damage breach ring and stuff would be really big, having +3 proj instead of +2. Yeah, there's just a lot that you could improve on the build, and I think I just want to make another build personally, so that's what I'm probably going to do. But yeah, I think as far as the passive tree goes, like I said, it's pretty straightforward, pretty cookie cut from like most other people playing this build. I guess the 2 things that I really want to hit home with the passive tree that have helped me tremendously are, I went into shock magnitude. A lot of people don't like to take this. They like to take this on a weapon swap, but this takes me from a 20% shock to a 35% shock which I think is super valuable when you're in like Act 2 and 3. That just gives you basically double the amount of shock damage almost. And another thing that I would like to say is this node, Blinding Strike, is extremely important for a build like this. So, you know, at first glance, it says, you know, 10% chance to blind enemies on hit with attacks. Okay, 10%, not very high, but if I'm hitting 160 times in a couple of seconds with my lightning rod, this is 100% blind, essentially. So blind is really, really good for padding your evasion, padding your deflect. So, you know, the more blind you have, the better. You could even anoint something like this, Pocket Sand, which gives you 50% increased blind effect, which would then bring this to 30% less accuracy. But I'm just saying, like, on the Twins boss in the interludes, like the very last one that I did, I chose to do that interlude last. They didn't even hit me with a single attack because I had this node and because I was constantly blinding them. Now, another node that I really think is super important is Concussive Attack on the skill tree, because it has 5% chance to daze on hit. So this means that we pretty much 100% guarantee daze because we do so many hits with this build. So daze, basically what it does is it gives you more stun build up. So when you're hitting a ton of times, you know, most of the time you're going to do a boss, you're going to preload all the damage, you're going to shoot all your damage, it's going to stun the boss because it's going to be dazed, which gives you more stun. Then you're going to be able to have a window to line up a bit more damage, and then you can just go for the finishing kill, basically. So yeah, basically, like on my current setup right now, with chain and stuff equipped, and like if I took chain off, it might be better. But I'm looking at about, like, a damage rotation is like 2.5 million on, like, firing all of my rods with chain. So, you know, charge shots, probably more damage. I like the quality of life of doing chain, and yeah, pretty much it. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for the video about my overview of my league start. Super good build. If you are restarting in SSF, I would highly recommend maybe trying this if you've never tried it before, but I'm assuming that most people have tried this build and played it. Yeah, but basically Abyssal crafting has been crazy. If you guys want help with crafting any of my gear, you can shoot me a message on Discord, or you can I can make another video explaining like sort of how to craft every single piece. But yeah, pretty straightforward stuff. I don't have really good gear right now. This helmet I made last night is really good, but other than that, the bow is pretty much the best, and then the rest is kind of eh. This belt's pretty good too, but yeah, I think that's it, guys. I will catch you in the next one. I'm going to be doing probably a ritual video soon, as well as I'm actually going to be doing the Rake Bloodmage again. That's going to be my next build. I already have some of the gear lined up for it. I basically got a Guiding Palm last night. I get a Tangle Tongue, which is double corrupted above 8%, so that's good. And then I get 2 +3 level melee skills amulets here, and then a bunch of +2 gloves that I'm going to end up trying to fracture. And then I've got a rare spear here, not really important, but yeah, I'm going to try and get an Akoyan spear and fracture crit chance. I have one here that has 4.18. It's kind of like a fail-safe if I don't get a better one, but yeah, the idea is you fracture the crit chance, then you go for a bunch of elemental damage rolls, and then you use essences to finish it with +4 attack skills. So that's going to give our Rake like super huge boosts. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.